What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I'm going to go ahead and make this very quickly, or make this very quick. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm going to be looking at. But I'm going to be using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's try to find the best pre-market stocks. Alrighty, guys. So let's make sure that we have everything going. So market opens in about 8 minutes. And all right, so I was watching ECYT, nothing crazy going on there. Let's look at AMD. AMD during pre-market hours, it looks like there's a resistance at $12.44, a support at $12.27, potential for profit within that area about like 1.3. But really the area that we're really looking for is like, let's go a little bit further back and see this potential for profit. What is it? It's 5%. So if we can break this resistance that it currently has, that it's obviously had before, this is where we're going to be able to find, a big gapper. So this might be a good day trade, even for the day, just because of the potential for profit. Definitely has a resistance, so we're going to wait. Hopefully once the market opens, we can get that nice volume to break above this 1245 resistance. It looks like it just broke above it, and as long as we don't have any pullbacks as the market opens, then we should have a pretty solid run all the way to the top. Other than that, let's go ahead and keep looking. NBAX looks like it has pretty good volume. That's weird. Wow. Nice little pullback. This is like 20% gain and 20% gain also. So we're going to probably see a pullback, hopefully maybe a support at 110, so maybe a bounce. So I'll have to follow up with this one. JNUG is really the one that we're going to want to look at. So it looks like it had some pullbacks during pre-market hours, and it has a pretty solid support at like $19.68, the resistance at about $20. So JNUG is a gold-based ETF, so it really comes down to those that understand everything that's been going on within our economy and the uncertainty. And if you think that, gold will continue to rise, with this gold-based ETF, then this can be one that we can follow up with. NUGT is pretty much the same thing as JNUG, just a different type of gold-based ETF. DRYS. So the stock is always losing money. But it looks like it had a pretty solid day yesterday, and then it has a pullback today. So consistently within the past, let's say 10 days, just solid drop. 20 days, just consistent downward trend. And that's not necessarily something that you want to invest in. So it's not something that I want to, put my hard-earned money in. So I'm going to say, pass. Wow, PBR. What the heck? Where is it at? $8.57. This thing dropped so much. My goodness. Resistance. I'm gonna put an alert right here. So I'm gonna right click create alert, and then when it goes below 845, as I know it's gonna break the support. But just because I know there's a resistance here at 865, let me go ahead and do a 2-day analysis. No. 5-day, 5-minute. I'm going to see if it breaks above 170, and then maybe that can be a break in resistance while it's on its way back to $9 to $10. So just want to be kept up to date on what it is that's going on, Let me log into my other computer real quick. Alrighty, I put in the wrong password there. Alrighty, let's go and continue looking. I want to see what you guys have to say within the Technical Solutions group chat. Let's see. Again, it all comes down to exposure and how you make sense of it. You know, if you, I did call it. Okay, perfect. So they're saying FPPT. Let's go ahead and see that. I don't like that one. Okay. There's also another one that was like recommended to me. It was this one, consistent. Upward trend. Do I like this one? I think it's too much hype. I really don't like stocks that are under $1. At least just that's my preference. So I don't really like this one, not too much. So pretty much what I'm looking at right now, the only stocks that make sense to me are AMD right now. It's at 240, so it's had a little pullback. JDST is one that just continues to drop. So if JNUG takes a huge drop, then this is the one that has all the potential for margin to make up. So this one, just keep on the lookout for this one. This one should have a nice little breaking point when it breaks above 65. It's that simple. And then it currently has a support at 62. So what do? That rhymes. So I'm going to put an alert simply when it goes below that. Other than that, let's look at NAK. That was one that I want to follow up with. Whoa. Support should be around 160 as that was an old resistance. I'm going to put an alert. I'm going to follow up with this one as well. I think this one can have a pretty solid bounce at 160. All right, looks like we have like 35 seconds left until the market opens, and it tells you right here. Again, if you guys don't know how to use this TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform, I did upload a video for you guys yesterday that was requested by you guys. So you simply just click on this video within my YouTube channel, and it will go through very simple steps on how to download it for free, how you gain access to it, and then how you guys can actually utilize just the fundamentals of this whole platform. And then we did a mid-market recap as of yesterday. So other than that, let's go ahead and go for it. So HD. What the heck? All right, can we get above this resistance? Pull back, pull back. We're going to want to catch it at the bounce. Looks like it's bouncing at 1240. Okay, AMD is, if we can break above 1246, it's running. All right, it's going. All right, I'm going to buy in my Robinhood account. Shoot, it's rising. It's going to probably get a little pullback right here. Let's find at 147. That's at 1247. Let's see. Well, it's hitting a little resistance at 1250. All right, had a little pullback. I'm gonna have to come back to this one. Let's see what I'd say. This one, I got the alert also that it had a little pullback down to 161, which was a lower support than it has had before. Yesterday, it randomly had like a decent spike up from its bounce at 165 all the way up to 180. This is one that I was talking about. Didn't see the volume that you really wanted, but shut up. JDST is running. So JNUG means that that's dropping, and JDST is running. Broke above the 65 resistance, and is it climbing or no? It didn't. I mean, it broke above it, but isn't holding. That's one of the biggest things. Like, it's not holding it. You see that, like, all during pre-market hours, it was struggling to break above, this line right here, $65, and then it continued to hold back down. Right now it's at 64.90, but it hit the resistance and then just had a pullback. It's just like AMD right now. AMD isn't doing much. And NVAX, just like we said, most likely going to bounce at 110. I've had this line before just because that was a previous resistance. So if we go a couple days back, I'm sorry, previous support. No, it was a resistance. Let me see. Yeah, it was an old resistance. As you see, it bounced here at $1, hit a resistance at like 110, and then had another bounce. So now, as it's approached, as it broke this resistance during pre-market hours, and it starts to come back down, most likely it's going to have a support at that area, and it looks like it's working out. So, wow, I need to make my mind up on what I want. So, what could be a good plan for me? I think if I get in anything around like 110 to 111, I cut losses anything below 110 just because I know 110 is the current support. And then I try to sell around this slight resistance of 115. Or I can try to sell at this 119 resistance if I really think it's going to go that high. But this buyer is still at 111. Let's see. AMD just seems like a safer trade and a lot easier just to cut losses on, as it has a support here, and it's just going to be a lot smoother. And it still has that 5% potential. So I think I might just go for this safer trade rather than. But just that resistance at 1250, it's not breaking it. And we have to increase at least $1 to make like some real profit. All right, on my other TD trade, or my other computer, I have ECYT running and then JDST. JDST is at $65.14 right now, and then ECYT is at $1.60 support. So it's not doing much. It just broke that support and it's at 159. Yeah, that thing's just tanking. Let's see. I'm not seeing the volume that I really want. Like AMD's not really bouncing. It bounced, but not really. We're gonna have to like it has that resistance at $12.50. It's just not moving the way that you would usually think. A lot of these aren't. Even end backs just sitting there. Well, this one never really moves around a lot anyways, so I guess that's what you'd expect. Not much movement. And JNAG is dipping, so JDST should be rising. Yep. We did this one good, so let's see what you guys are. So just want to load the team on just some stocks that I was following up on, letting them know that they're not really moving. NVAX just broke support, so Ryan says up 7% on HUSA, and he's actually one that I think called it out, and he's the one that messaged me about this. Dang, it did break. Ryan's a savage. He did very well with understanding the potential for HUSA. I actually didn't think that this one was going to continue to rise, but it's been in a consistent upward trend. If you see within the past 5 days, again, it just didn't meet my preference of stocks under $1, and I don't really like stocks under $1, and I didn't feel extremely comfortable. Again, that's totally okay. I'm just not comfortable with trading this, but I'm so glad that he was able to make sense of it himself. Like he's the one that talked to me about it, so that's definitely good. So it looks like he has a resistance at 69 and had a little pullback. Had a little bounce at 665. Ooh, AMD. It's going. Perfect. All right, sweet. Maybe some volume is actually. No, this one hit a resistance at $66, really. It's having a pullback all the way back down, so I'm guessing JNUG is now rising. Yeah, all right, whatever. So, yes, I'm going to stay away from that FTR. Let's see how this one's doing. Resistance again, support. So I'm going to put my alert just in case I don't get a good day trade for the day, just because nothing's really looking like it's going to be working out for me. I'm going to set my alert there, and I'm also going to set my alert if it breaks above this. Let me see what to. This is the balance that we want to identify. It balanced at 159. It was previously holding or trading at like 170, really. So it has a support at 159 based on where it's currently at. Potential for profit is at 170, at least realistically within a day. That's 6.55%. So if I buy in anything, because it looks like it's bouncing, if I buy in at 160, I cut losses right below 159. So my potential for loss is about 0.7%. So very minimal loss, with my potential for profit being around 5% to 6.3% on the high end. So I think that that's worth it. Very simple trade to plan out, and it's at 161. So I'm just going to put my limit order at 160 and see if it gets filled. All right. Ooh, index moving up, but again, stick to your plan. Don't overwhelm yourself. Man, okay, these stocks are moving. All right. It showed a bounce, right? It was at 159. Showed a couple green candlesticks. Very low volume, so that's not necessarily a good thing. But again, I'm identifying 160 as a support, 159 as like the overall low point, and then the first resistance is most likely going to be like 168, and then it's going to be 170. So I'll follow up with this one and let you guys know how it goes within my market recap. But NVAX, we did a good job identifying. Whoa. Those that were trading that support bounced at 109. Really, we thought it was going to bounce at 110, and is now at 117. So that potential for profit is 6.24% that we caught. And again, it was simply it comes down to understanding that it had a huge, it was gapping up right during pre-market hours, and usually when it gaps up during pre-market hours, especially with these like low volume stocks, once the volume starts increasing, it starts to get like little pullbacks, and within those pullbacks, all you want to do is identify the bounce, and then in a sense, make sure that well, what I like to do is I like to identify the bounce, buy in a little bit above the support on wherever it is that it bounced. So if it bounced at 110, I would have bought in probably at 111, 112, showing me that the support at 110 is a valid support, making sure that it bounced. And then I would most likely sell a little bit below this resistance at 119. So it hit highs of 117. And it's at 114, 115. I would have probably just sold at this first resistance, just because this is a $1 stock and this alone is like 4.3% profit. Or if anything, I mean, if you guys could squeeze in extra profit, then that would be pretty solid. I just got filled with ECYT. We need to make sure. So hopefully we can move above EMA, showing real signs of upward momentum. And then that's going to be it. So I'm going to set my stop loss real quick below 159. So give me 1 second. AMD, NVAX, JNEG. Wow, JDST really did hit that resistance. Let's see, where is it? Right, receiving a pullback. Yeah, that is so ridiculous. JDST is not even given a chance. So it looks like JNEG will probably still be the runner today. It had a bounce here at 1633. Will most likely come back up to this resistance at $20 if it's gonna play out anyway, like it did the past couple of days. So just make sure you guys trade smart with whatever it is that you guys do. Um, overall, I feel like we found some pretty solid stocks. All I did was, oh man, that's my girlfriend calling. She's actually calling me from Spain. Let me go ahead and answer real quick. Hey, sweetie, I'm doing a live stream right now. Do you mind if I give you a call back real quick?
Oh my god.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
All right, love you. Bye.
I love you.
Bye. All right, sorry about that. But pretty much we are all done for this live stream. Again, this whole live stream is just to share my whole thought process when it comes to identifying potential in stocks. It looks like we did a very good job identifying the bounce on NVAX. If you guys saw that, right, that we identified the support at 110. Did I do anything special? No, I just looked at previous resistance levels. And like we know, old resistance levels become new support levels once they pass it, and then it's coming back down. We also looked at some couple pre-market movers that have been seeing consistent upward trends. Again, I want to give a shout out to Ryan, who shouted out HUSA, and that's up 7% today. Again, him doing his own analysis, him identifying his own potential, and him making sense of his own trades. It looks like I'm in at ECYT. I'm up right now, and it looks like it is trending up. There's buyers at 161 and 162. And I plan to sell. It looks like there is going to be a slight resistance at 166 because that was an old support. So if anything, I can lock my profits there. But other than that, it really comes down to just staying consistent and sticking to my plan. So I have my stop loss set, so no matter what, I'll cut my losses. I'm managing my risk. I have my limit, or once it passes, I think like 164, 165, I'll cut my stop loss and I'll probably, put a limit order at 166 and kind of go from there. But I'll do a follow-up video later on around like 5:30, 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. And then if you guys can join, that would be great. I really want to hear what you guys have to say or see what you guys have to say. Let me see if there's anything that I can do to answer your guys' questions. I'm so sorry that I haven't done that already. Give me 1 second. I really want to hear what you guys have been trading. It looks like JNEG and JDSC have been big movers within the past couple of days within our group chats, and AMD has just right now it's at 1270. It's just been consistently, going up. So if anyone held AMD overnight, which was most likely a swing trade, you guys are up like almost 6%. So it's ridiculous on how consistent it's been when moving up. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna go to the top. Patrick says, "Good morning, Ryan." Ryan says, "Say something. I'm giving up on you." Oh, it looks like because he was just waiting while we were about to go live. I was like, "What the heck?" Alrighty. But it looks like you guys were just we're talking about like different stocks that were making moves and stuff like that. No real questions. Michael Clay says, "Never buy a morning spike. Buy at the dip of a morning panic." That is, in a sense, another way to phrase what it is that we did with not that I personally bought it, but that we did with NVAX. Again, it had a resistance. It moved up from its, I think, $1 all the way up to $1.19. Are you going to buy at the very top, understanding that that's a resistance? No, you're going to analyze, see that that's a resistance that, based on previous trends, that there's usually pullbacks, and then once there's pullbacks and it bounces, that it identifies that it was a solid trade or solid bounce, and then set up your plan where you're buying, where you're selling, where you're going to cut your losses, and make sure it's realistic. So that is what we did, and it looks like it played out very well. Now it's back down to 113. So again, not below where we would have bought at. But other than that, I mean, that is pretty much it, guys. Let's see. Yeah, my position on ECYT is still at 161.50. Yeah, it looks like there's a resistance at 162, which I really didn't think that that was going to be a resistance. So let me go ahead and see if there's anything else that I can answer for you guys. I have a QN. Ryan says, I love your hair. That's funny. Thank you, bud. Always set your stop losses. That is true. That's just something that I do to minimize loss. Which brokerage can I join? I'm a new trader from Zambia, Africa. Thinkorswim has not been responded, and Robinhood is not allowed. Um, I'm actually not familiar with your area, Kelly, but if you go ahead and ask that question again, the link is provided for you down below. If you want to ask that question within our Technical Solutions group chat, then I'll go ahead and accept it and see if there's any other traders or that are aware of some stocks or brokerage companies that you can actually access over there. So again, the link is provided for you down below. If you're not already a part of our Technical Solutions group, which Kelly, I'm sure you are, because I've actually spoken to you, I believe. So your things at DUS, I think you're asking your thoughts. So on DUST. So DUST is probably another gold-based company. This one looks like it goes. Wow, this one doesn't even respond the same way that JNUG and JDST. Since this one has been in a consistent, this one actually probably responds more like JNUG because I had a nice little spike in the morning, but is now having a pullback. I'm sorry, not JNUG, JDST. So it looks like it still has a resistance at like $26.50. So overall, based on where it stands within the past like 10 days, it's very low. It's at $25 when it usually trades around like, what is that, $28.50 to $31, $30.50. So it's pretty low. Even in the RSI charts, it shows that it's like more on the oversold side than overbought. So that's a good indicator possibly for a swing trade. But I'd really look into the fundamentals a little bit more. I'm not much of a swing trader myself, but we do have a good amount of swing traders within our group. There's like Josh, there's Justin that kind of lead some of the swing trading groups within Tech Solutions. So I'll make sure follow up with them, and they should look a little bit more into that. But it definitely does not look like it's a bad trade. This could definitely be a good hold for DUST based on the past like almost year. It looks like it has a pretty solid support or low point at around like $25 to $23 and stuff like that. So that's actually, thank you for shouting that out. I think I'm actually going to look at this one for a potential swing trade. So that's pretty solid. It says, Kelly's like, thank you, Ricky. You're awesome. I am a member already. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it, bud. All right. So I'm going to end it with this. Okay. I'm going to really answer these three things. Okay, Ricky, can you briefly explain inverse ETFs like JNUG and JDST? So pretty much what they are, they're gold-based ETFs. So gold, although it's no longer supported or backed up, it doesn't back up our, American dollar anymore. There's still correlation with that. So when our economy does bad, gold usually rises and vice versa. So when our economy does good, then gold usually drops. So these gold-based ETFs, JNUG is the one that rises when our economy goes down. So since JDST is the inverse ETF, when JNUG goes up, then JDST goes down. So this could almost be like a 50-50 type of deal. When JNUG isn't going according to plan, you can cut losses short, jump into JDST, and if it makes sense to you and you identify potential based on your stop loss on JNUG, then that can be a position that you might be able to profit off of, just because that one rises when the other one doesn't. So that's really just it. And then the other questions by Danny. So Jake, good question. Danny's asking, I'm 17, I'm trying hard to make money in penny stocks. These videos are helpful. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. I do want to make sure that you guys understand, again, I think I'm probably one of the easiest people to understand when it comes to trading. And I want to make sure that you guys understand, like, day trading is not my only source of income. It's something that I've been doing for like quite a while on and off. And it's something that I've been able to create. Like I usually day trade for 2 hours actively and create a stable source of income from this. But it's because I've done it for a couple years. So for those that don't really have that foundation and don't have the fundamentals, I want you guys to know, there's paper trading and simulation trading when there's no real monetary risk, and there's definitely potential for you to make within the stock market. But realistically, as an investor and as an entrepreneur, when it comes to like investing in real estate and stuff like that, you need a stable source of income. And the way you do that is, I've talked about just multiple different ways how you guys can make money on the side aside from just day trading, because not 90% of people aren't going to be successful when it comes to trading stocks. The whole point of my platform is to make sure that we can, in a sense, like reduce that number, making it more accessible to the information that you need, and to the fundamentals of making sure you know what you're trading, making sure you have a plan when you trade, making sure that you have at least a whole plan for success when it comes to when you're trading and stuff. And now I provide it for free for everyone, right? But the whole thing is if day trading isn't gonna, because I know it's not gonna work out for everyone. But I want to make sure that you guys know one thing within my group, and that one of the biggest things is that you need a stable source of income. And in no way do I want to like minimize your desire to be an entrepreneur. But there's nothing wrong with getting a stable source of income, and it can be something that can help you save a lot of money in the long run. And you just have to work a little bit harder, meaning that you can have that stable source of income, making whatever it is that you make a year, and then save that money. Use that money, save it, and as you're learning about day trading and investing, and you're trying it out with this whole simulation trading, then you can really do well in the long run if you have the right fundamentals like on set, right? But again, test the waters first. I'm not here to promote a get rich quick scheme. I'm here to, in a sense, provide a platform that you can utilize that can be an extremely useful platform, or could be nothing at all. Like no use to you, because we don't tell you what to trade. But it comes down to you as the investor to make the most out of it. And a lot of people have been able to benefit simply by sharing best practices and sharing mistakes, because that is all I do. It looks like ECYT is at 165.5. So I'm gonna have to end the live stream here just because I'm gonna have to get back to my trade just to lock in profits. And it looks like I'm up. What the heck? It looks like I'm up 6 cents. So that's solid. And then the last question, Jake says, thank you, of course. When you're only getting 3 trades a week with those without $25,000 in their account, how do you make sure you're getting the best within those 3 trades? Well, that really, and this is by Joshua James. So that really comes down to you as an investor to identify the 3 best stocks to invest in. And what I mean by that is that's why we have these whole pre-market live streams. I used to not even want to do these live streams because too many people were mimicking my trades. And that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to be on stock twits, and there's nothing wrong with that platform. But if you guys know anything about that platform, it can be very manipulative, and people really just want you to jump into the stock that they're investing in. That's not the type of person that I am, nor is that the type of platform that I provide. If you ever, anyone within our group tells you to trade a certain stock, they get automatically removed from our group chat, because we're not here to make money off of someone's loss. We're here to share our best practice, and we're here to make money off of what we see potential in. So I hope that in my videos, you guys see my style of trading and see some best practices that you see value in, and try them out. You don't have to try them out with real money. Try them out with paper trading, simulation trading. And if it works for you and you have a successful track sheet, then do whatever it is that you do to continue this. But again, only trade what you see value in. Always set up a plan when you're trading, and always minimize loss. That's one of the biggest things when it comes to trading is, the only way you're going to make money in the long run, right? You might get lucky from time to time, but only way you're going to make money in the long run is when you lock in profits consistently and cut losses short. And I think anyone within our group can actually tell you that. Like, consistency is key, and discipline when it comes to being diligent in doing your own work, making sure that you're setting up a plan every single time you trade, and locking in profits and sticking to your plan and not being greedy. I know I repeat this multiple times, but it's this repetition, and I've had this conversation with numerous traders that needs to be stuck in your head, because just like saving money, no one does it, but saving money is key to your success when it comes to, you know, needing the money at a certain point to make that decision or make that investment. And if you don't have that money saved, then you made one of the biggest mistakes, because now you don't even have money to invest. So I just want you guys to understand that it's the simple things like in life, and you know, just repetition and consistency and discipline that can really make the difference in the type of individual that you guys are. And I mean, everyone that's watching, you guys are all different. You guys are all, you know, have your normal jobs or are doing different things on the side, and want an extra source of income, adding something else to your plate. And I love that. You know, you guys are killing it, and you guys need to understand that you guys are different. But just because, you know, you are different and want the best and want to make the most out of what it is that you guys want, you want to make more than what you currently have, you have to understand that you have to have a plan. You can't just hope for the best. You have to understand what it is that you're getting into the market, right? Be the best and try to be the best in what it is that you're learning. Set up a plan and stick to it, and make sure that it makes sense to you. Don't ever go based on anyone else's opinion. Where do you guys see ECYT peak at today? Well, it looks like it had a resistance at 166, and it has a little support at 165. So if anything, if it doesn't break above 166, I'm just going to lock in profits at 165. So I'm going to have to head on out. It looks like we're getting at that 30-minute mark, guys. I want to thank you guys all again so much for watching. If there's anything that, you know, I can do for you guys, please, again, direct message me within the TechBud Solutions group chat. I want to make sure if you guys haven't liked this video or subscribed, you know, we'd really appreciate it if you guys can. We upload daily videos like these every single time. And as well, we're going to upload a helpful video or a recap video around 5:30 to 6:30 Mountain Standard Time today. So I hope you guys are ready for that. And again, join us again for our live stream tomorrow morning. And we're going to be doing the same thing as this, you know, being a good group, talking to one another, and it's one of the best things that I really enjoyed to do. So thank you guys again so much. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, guys.